Hi everyone. So we have Ayan here and Sanika here from Coders Evoke, and I'll just let them talk and give a small intro about what they are doing, and then we'll go into something really awesome today. How many of you are excited? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Ayan. I'm from first year from SSCC. Just a founder of Coders Evoke, just making aware the other students so that they can use their opportunities or that the opportunities is presented. Okay, so Sanika.
Hello everyone, I'm Sanika Patil. I'm also a first year student, and I hope you all are really excited for this session with Praveen sir. This is going to be a hands-on session on certificate generation and validation. So I hope you all are really excited for this session. So I will hand over this session to Praveen sir now.
By the way, it's not exactly like the generation part. It is going to be like the user interface. This is almost similar to what we are doing with web development and other things. So that's exactly what we are going to do today. And without further delay, I'll just quickly introduce myself, and those who have not given a like or give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so that we can also chat. And if you have any questions, this is going to be completely hands-on live session, so you can directly interact with me. Yes, I can literally look at the number of people who are chatting right now. So yes, Ishita, Jashan, Aditya, Sadaf, Rishita, Zainul, Sudha, Sneha, etc. So come on, you guys go ahead, folks. Please make this whole thing interactive, and we will be able to learn a lot of things using React.js and Node.js. Not only that, we are also going to generate we are going to create a user interface. So it is similar to your portfolio creation website or something like that. And we will be looking into a lot of React.js related concepts, and also what should I say, user interface related concepts. So how many of you have already got your... Okay, before that, let me quickly introduce myself. So hi everyone, my name is Praveen Kumar. I'm originally from Chennai, India, and I'm working for one of the top 2 banks in the UK, and I'm a full stack JavaScript specialist. Okay, I keep saying that I'm a full stack JavaScript specialist. What is a full stack JavaScript specialist without a website? So here you go. Can everyone confirm if you are able to see my screen and my website? So here's it. I'm a cook, I'm a cat lover. And so this is a simple website that I created for myself. This is my portfolio, and it has all the roles that I generally work with. And there are these ways you can come and stalk me. And yeah, please do connect with me on LinkedIn. And in case if the stream drops a bit or something like that, everything seems to be perfect here. So just refresh the page or reload the stream. It should be perfectly working. And coming to the portfolio itself, so it has a couple of details about how I have. So it's my quick introduction, and this is my experience. For those people who do not have a portfolio, I request every one of you to create something simple. In case if you don't have experience section, just do the education section. What did I do here? I just copied all the details, all the content from my brochure and other things. So that's easier, right? So just use that thing. And all these numbers are made up numbers. Coming to the portfolio section, please, even if it is just a small Hello World application, try to flaunt it in your profile and make sure everyone sees it. So because the main reason why I'm saying is that this I did it in say 2010 or something like that. You can see how bad it is. This is 2011, and this is something around that same area. These were my first 3 projects. Now coming to the last 3 projects, the recent 3 projects, you can see that how great I have improved upon time. So this exactly is the benchmark you can actually put up. And not only that, if you like to learn something, and if you learn something and then if you want to teach someone, just make sure you also write some blogs on your own website, or maybe use Medium or something. There are loads and loads of blogging platforms available there right now. So if you're doing something like this, it will be really helpful for you in terms of improving your written communication skills and other stuff. So that's the whole thing about my website. And also I do have people talking behind my back, and this is how you can talk behind my back. So that's about my website, and I do have my YouTube channel. Obviously you are looking at that right now. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And the reason is, like, there are like loads and loads of new things that are happening, and there is also a lot of things are coming up as well. So there is this rock paper scissors, that is the next thing that is going to come. So don't forget, hit the subscribe and get the bell notification, so that tomorrow when I'm posting all the new ones, and there are like loads and loads of open source React.js, different kind of things are there. Okay, enough about myself. So let me have a quick look at what people are saying immediately. Just give me a second. Let me see the comments. Hey, there are loads of comments. Okay, how many of you are completely beginner to React and Node and are excited about creating something awesome here? So don't forget, just hit the subscribe button and you can start chatting, and hit the like button as well, so that it improves. I mean, like, it motivates me. And also put your queries here. So Sanika, you're going to be one of the moderator here. So I have added you as a moderator. So in case if anyone is going to ask something, you can highlight them, you can share the links, etc. Cool. We can see that a lot of people are like newbies here, and they're very much excited and superb. Let's crack on. And okay, so everyone says, a lot of people are saying like they are beginners to React. Okay, cool. Khalid, unfortunately, you know why I am using the hoodie. Right. Okay, so Shivaram says, I'm beginner. It will be great to session. This starts from scratch. Yes, for all the beginners out there, this is going to be from scratch one. This is for absolute beginners. Yes, you're right. And we are going to use just the front end here. So it is going to be a web development. It's just the UI generation, right? So it's going to be a web development based thing. So it will be really, really easy. Thank you, Sada, for such a nice message. And whoever is in your initial times of like beginning to React or beginning to Node, don't worry at all. We will be able to work things out, and it is going to be really, really easy and really, really awesome to learn as well. Okay, cool. So we are correct. All right. So Sarthak says that he will send his. So he has did his first portfolio website. Awesome, man. Okay. Without further delay, let me share my screen again and then show you what exactly I'm doing. So I'm gonna show you one new tool here. So it is called as React.new. So what this does is it provides a Visual Studio Code similar interface. So what exactly am I using during my development time? So if you all type in Praveen Dev Environment on Google, you'll be able to see this particular first thing called My Personal Development Environment. And inside that, you'll be able to see what all the things that I am using actually. So this is my main one would be Google Chrome, because Google Chrome is the thing that I always use, because that's one of the best for developers, not for end users, but best for developers. And we have got other Google Dev Tools, React Dev Tools. Then Zoom is for the communication, and Git is one of the important thing for any developers, because whenever you want to go back in time, when you mess up with the code, Git will always help you. iTerm and OMI.sh are for Unix-based systems. It is actually cool. OMI.sh, in case if you are using a Mac or Linux machine, go check out this one. Then Sublime Text was an old text editor that I was using before VS Code. It was awesome in its old days. And even now I'm using it for basic web development and other things. Then we have got Node.js. Node.js is the platform that is going to run the JavaScript. It is the runtime environment. And we have got other things. Typora is also awesome. I'll show you Typora later. And coming to the last one, the main thing, Visual Studio Code. This is the main, this is the most recommended text editor or IDE ever, I could say, for at least the React.js developers right now. I was sticking with Sublime Text until VS Code has evolved something like crazily. So this is really good with all these different plugins that I use. I use only like 8 plugins here in VS Code. Let me show you my VS Code, how it looks. So this is how my VS Code looks like, and it has only 8 plugins. So I wanted to show you a simple thing, how we can do something nicely. So before that, I will just go ahead and quickly read through all the comments. So hey Yash, hey Akshat, Ayan, yeah, Ayan is here. It's my project college assignment with HTML, CSS, basic CSS. Okay, that's cool. Yes, please hit the like button, and then yeah, so that would be really helpful. Hey Unnati. Okay, so just give me a second. Let me get something quickly for you all. So we'll be using the web version of VS Code. So that is going to be react.new. So if I open this, type in react.new, and then you will be getting the same React Code sandbox, which is here. Okay, so here, what we are going to do is, I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger and then press save it so that we can clearly see what exactly is happening here. Before that, so what exactly are we trying to do here? So recently I started this one called Verify.xyz. So this is a certificate verification platform, but the user interface of this doesn't look as good as what it should. So look at the website. The website looks super cool. And okay, that's me. I'm the CTO of this thing. And we have got already a lot of certificates generated, and that's been distributed and all these things. But how does this actually look like? So if you see one of the websites, let's say Swak. Swak is the script vendor of code. And if we try to open this one, it looks something very dull like this. So it has a claim certificate. And if I try to claim something, let's say if I put my name, my number, and if I'm a mentor and then claim the certificate, it just shows me the certificate, nothing else. But I just recently I was looking at one of the certificate platforms, like I guess it's GUI certificate. Okay. So I saw that these things look really, really good. Okay. So I just opened this one. I mean, it was like a random link. I opened it. So it looks like someone has actually, it's someone else certificate, this one is. So it looks like really simple. It has a credential ID. It has a credential URL. It has a preview of the certificate. It says certificate of completion. And this verifies the person has completed something successfully. And there is also a link to share the certificate. So technically what we are going to do is we are going to make the same thing. Not exactly copying this, but we are going to create something similar to this. And all we require is 4 different files. So yes. So for those people who have not hit the subscribe button, go hit the subscribe button. Yes, Rohan, you're always late, man. So yeah. So let's see. Let's quickly look into how we are going to build the whole website. How many of you are familiar with Bootstrap? Bootstrap is one of the best, CSS frameworks which we will be using to create something, like basically something. And I'm a huge fan of using dark mode. So this particular certificate website is actually using a light mode. So we are going to do a couple of things. So first thing is like, it should be responsive, obviously. So this whole thing looks really responsive. And we will also add the credentials and all these kind of things, the sharing button, downloading certificate button, almost everything what all things that we are looking for. So all these things will be added. Okay, so coming to our chat. Okay, so Rohan says plain CSS. All right. Okay, cool. Let's have a quick look at how, and moreover, whoever has actually registered yourself on the form, if you have not done it, please go ahead, hit the registration button. Just down there. Okay, I'll just send you the link once again, and we will try to generate the same certificates as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this and put it on the chat and pin this one so that everyone will be able to get at least some kind of a certificate at the end of this one. Okay, so that's actually a good plan, right? What do you think? And don't forget to add me on LinkedIn as well. So in case if you want to get connected with me, please go ahead. Okay, so how many of you want to use Bootstrap? How many of you do not want to use Bootstrap? Please tell me. And don't forget to hit the register button in case if you are looking for one certificate at the end. Okay, cool, super. So let's go ahead and let's start building something out from this. Okay, so currently we do have this kind of a UI, right? So let's go back to our React application. I'll start from the basics, how we can integrate Bootstrap and all these things I'll say. Okay, in React, we have something called as public index HTML. Oh, damn. I just closed it. So let me reopen it again. So this is the basic structure of React application. Any React application, it has a public index HTML file, and then there will be app.js and package.json, index.js. These are the main files that are available. Obviously, there will be also a style.css. So we'll use Node.js so that we can also use SCSS, not CSS. So SCSS is very powerful. How many of you are already familiar with SCSS? Please tell me. Okay, Bootstrap with explanation. Okay, cool. I'll do. A lot of people say Bootstrap they don't want to use. About half of them they are saying Bootstrap not good. Okay, a lot of people are new to Bootstrap, so I guess we should stick with Bootstrap. What do you all say? People who hate Bootstrap, are you okay? Yeah, a lot of people only have heard of it and have not used it. So we can. I guess a lot of people haven't used Bootstrap with React at least. So shall we use Bootstrap with React? So that is exactly the plan right now. Okay. All right. So what we are going to do now is let's go to getbootstrap.com. Okay. So here you will be able to get the Bootstrap from this. Always documentation is the first thing that you would be looking at. So where is the docs? So this is the first link that you need to use. So we'll go ahead and go to the index.html. And this is going to be, let's say, Sandril. So that's exactly the website's name. So the new, like a local version of Karo Verify is Sandril. So I thought let's rebuild the same Karo Verify backend using React for Sandril. So this is exactly the plan today. So we'll try to do the same thing. So this will be having the same landing page, but the certificate generated page will be different. So that's exactly what I was trying to say. Cool. So adding this to here. Oh, by the way, all these certificates will be courtesy of Sandril. So you'll be getting all the certificates from Sandril. So be happy. Right. And now what we are going to do is, and yes, as I mentioned, whoever has actually filled the form, so we'll be procuring the data from the form. So make sure you give the right details and let's try to get the stuff done. Okay. So now we have got our link added here. And when it comes to the app, we should use style.scss, but we will just get rid of this. And in the index, I'm just going to do import style.scss. So once I do this, I'll be able to see that, okay, could not find module in the path, styles.scss. Cool. My fault. This always happens. Okay. It looks like it works. So this is Bootstrap code. The latest version of Bootstrap looks actually good. And for people who are hating Bootstrap, just have a quick look at the latest version of Bootstrap that looks really good. Okay, so let's start with the basic header. Dark header, light header. What is it that you want? Go on. Let's start the voting. Dark or light? Dark header, a lot of dark headers. Okay, looks like not a single person is saying light header. So which means we will go with dark header. So what we are going to do first is, let's go to the CSS file, CSS file, get rid of everything. Let's save it. And before that, I just wanted to remove the font family. The font family is supposed to be Open Sans. And let's go to fonts.google.com and try to create and try to get the Open Sans font. So we are going to use light font, regular font, semi-bold font, and don't forget to ask your questions. I'm happy to answer them then and there. Okay, so I'm also looking at the, okay, literally everyone has used dark. Okay, so everyone says dark, so that's fine. So don't forget to ask your questions, and let's go to the index.html where we are going to add the styles, the style sheet and other things. So now I have added the Open Sans font. So this should actually look good, and it is actually looking good. So now for the first thing, what I'm planning to do is I need to have the headers. Okay, so it's called navbar. So let's use a simple navbar, and so we also need something like a generating file. Okay, so we will use a small configuration file. So config.js. So export default. So what is the current community name or something like that? So let's use the name. Then we also need to know the what do you call this? We need a thumbnail. So that will be an image. For now, let's just have these two things, and let's go to the app.js. And here I would like to have, like, anyway, we are just going to generate things, right? So let's leave it that way. So import config from config. Okay. Now, in case if you put pre-tag and give some class names. So class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. So if you're writing all these things in JS file as a HTML, this is JSX, it's not pure JS. So we need to change the class into class name. This is just basically, that's what we are planning to do. So border, rounded, E3, and BG light. So now here, if I try to do, this is one of my favorite way of debugging things. So I put json.stringify, and then let's say put config, comma, null, comma 2. So if I do this, I'll be able to get whatever that we have written in there. Okay, so let's start creating components. React is all about componentization. Let's start creating components. So before that, let me also have a quick look at the chats. Graham, I'll tell you later. I don't have anything here. That's the reason I have had the hoodie here. So that's the reason behind the hoodie. Yeah, Rohan, you will get fired soon. So yes, I can zoom in the screen. Yeah, I guess this is the maximum zoom I can do. Are you using mobile to see the code? I mean, that won't work out because obviously this is completely a hands-on thing, right? So definitely you would require a computer to see the whole screen. So that would be the easiest way. But yes, let me try. Okay, so coming back to our nav bars, these are the nav bars that we are looking for. So let's use one of the nav bars here as a heading. And we'll just give here like this. So these classes needs to be changed into class names. Okay, and So since everyone wanted dark background, let's use dark. Boom. So here we will be using config dot name. Okay. So once we are here, so let's say coders evoke, and this part, okay, we also want to make this whole thing to be centrally aligned. So justify content center. So this will bring it to the center. Claim or verify certificates powered by Sandra. And we'll also try to deploy this whole code. So if we see it in the normal way on a full screen, how is this looking like? So far it looks fine. The top place looks good. So let's go ahead and create more things. And we also need to use a thumbnail. So for example, if we are using coders evoke, so it also shows me Sandra as the thing. And okay, so let's see if we have the logo that we can take. Boss, your website doesn't load.
The screen has been frozen.
Okay. Is this the website? No, right? Okay, sorry. So yeah, so if we look at this one in the full screen, we can see that this whole thing looks perfectly fine as well. So it is also how do you say, this is responsive as well, and we have got exactly how it should come up as well. Okay, cool. So the first thing that this certificate thing has is like something like a certificate of completion, but we need to also get a there is a verify certificate. Okay, there is nothing coming here, but this, okay, where is this verify certificate? So what these people are doing is they are trying to generate the certificate on the fly and then trying to put this here. So, but yeah, so we have got a credential ID, then what exactly this particular thing is, etc. So we should use the same kind of an idea. So let's try to use something like that. So let's get rid of our pre from here. So the first thing which I'm going to do is the layout. So there are like breakpoints, containers, etc. So we'll be using container, and we can just use container fluid. That's easier, and we can try to work things through it. So let's use a header here, and then inside our styles.scss for dot header, let's give margin bottom 15 so that there is a 15 pixels of margin. And I'll try to not use any custom CSS and we'll try to use most of the Bootstrap CSS. Okay, so div class name container fluid, and let's do a row. And the row should contain, like, let's start with two things, like 2 columns or something like that. Obviously, we need to have a place where we can get this whole thing, showing something like this is what is the whole thing about, or the events banner. So let's have a banner image as well. So now we really need a thumbnail and we really need a banner image. Where is the thumbnail being used? The thumbnail will be used in the main, on the link sharing places. So let's start with the banner first. So let's do one thing. Let's use a simple banner, which we are using for the current one. Just give me a second. Let me try to upload the banner. So this is going to be the banner, and And what we are going to do is we need a 2 columnar layout, right? So let's start with a 2 contents. Like if you see here, we can use row, and then here's the grid. So we'll be using the call, row and call. And since we are going to use just 2 columns, so we'll just use the call alone. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just call, and then this is left and this is right. So you can see that it is actually like a 2 columnar layout. But what we should be doing is really call 12 and call 12 so that it is going to take the full width basically. But when it goes to call SM, I want it to be call SM6. The same thing with this as well. So yeah. So what happens here is when it goes smaller and smaller, then the left and right will be like merged with each other. So we want to also look into what happens if there is a 2 different sizes. Okay. So if I'm putting like a hello world or something like this. So what happens here? Will this also increase the size? So let's use a BG primary. Okay, so it looks like it is also increasing the size. So BG warning. So you can see if whatever I put, how many number of lines I do, the left side also increases, which is cool. So this is exactly what we want to do. And what we are going to do here is, the reason why I was looking for this one is definitely we will have our screens like this. And then on the right side, there will be a claiming form, right? So if we go to the swap.verify.xyz, we have this claim form, right? So we'll be using the same kind of a claim form here. So I'll just copy it from the thing. So there is a form. Let's use something like this. So they are using a simple div with just margin bottoms. So since all these inputs can be actually done using components, we will be changing them into components. So let's use only one. Okay. So let's get rid of all these things. And for the input, it has to be like this. So now, instead of using something like this, let's go back to our body. Let's give a BG color. It should be kind of like dark color, right? So let's use 999. Doesn't look really good. So let us use something like dark mode, or should 333 be the right one? Yes, this seems to be better. Not exactly. All right. So for all the text here, it needs to be in the correct color. Before that, let me quickly have a look at the comments. Yeah, Flix wrap and all these things are already added using Bootstrap. So we don't need to do something new. We're not trying to generate a GUI certificate, but we are trying to create something similar to that UI. So we are actually trying to create a user interface of that. Sorry about the screen being stuck. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's continue with this. So we already gave this left side thing, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to get rid of this one. And here we are going to give a style. Let's create a banner styles here. Banner style. It's going to be an background image, and this background image is going to be from the config.banner. Okay, and this banner style is going to be added to this. Since we are using, why are we using inline styles? It is because we are going to get it from directly from this particular stuff. So we have given the banner image, but for some reason this banner image is not showing up. Let's try to find out what exactly is happening here. Okay, there is a banner style here, and it does have background image. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it needs to be. It should be in the wrong case. Sorry, it's my fault. I have never used CSS in JS, so that's the reason it is not coming correctly. So let's try it out once again. So let's refresh the page. Okay, still the same. It doesn't show any background images at the moment. Config.banner seems to be a string. Okay, any quick questions from the... No, the JS file seems to be perfect, because if I try to open this file, I'm able to see this. Okay, let me try to give a picture as such. So banner style did not work. So if I do img src and do banner style dot background image and I save it, it works. So this actually works. So if this works, this should work, right? See, the background image property is also there. So if I try to use this way, it doesn't work. Interesting. Okay, so whatever is this background image, let's try to use it as this way directly. Oh, okay, I guess I understood what was the problem. So background image should have the URL kind of a thing, right? So let's use banner style, and then here it is supposed to be URL and then it should be like this. Okay, I hope this works. Please, does it work? Nope. Any comments? Config.banner. Oh, here you go. Done. So that we have got. So what we need to do is we just need to add all the other styles right now. So in the styles.css, what we can do is inside the app, we have our left thing. So what we can do is let's add a main tag here. And inside the main tag, let's get this container fluid. And this one is the banner. This will be the form container. So for the left banner, what we can do is let's give background size contain and background repeat, no repeat. Actually, it should be cover so that it can cover the whole thing, right? So that is perfect. So if you try to open the same thing, it was just So this is what it's going to show. Okay, because we need to obviously fix the right side part. So let's start fixing that. So okay, coming back to our form. So we should have the we'll start creating the form. But before that, shall we try to make the whole thing modularized again? Okay, so far, how was it? The height of container can be fit content now. Yeah, see, by basically it is going to be fit content always. So yes. Okay, let's start with this one. So the next thing that we will be doing here is, let's try to add the forms. So first thing is, let's go back to here. It's email, WhatsApp, and the certificate type. Okay, so here we should have something called as certificate types. This is going to be an array, and or maybe we can use it as an object. So let's start with participants, and we have mentors. Okay, something like this. What we are going to do here is we have to generate the certificates, like certificate types based on that. So the first thing that we will be doing here is, oh, this is cool now. Like if I make it smaller, the banner will not even show. That's interesting. Maybe we can replace it with that image. So we'll do that later. Okay, now we have this particular repeatable stuff, which we have to work to. Okay, so the first thing will be okay, email, WhatsApp dot map. You can use element or FC, form control. Let's use this whole div to our work. Okay, so you can see that there are two things that's coming here, and a class name, or else we'll just go to the config, or sorry, styles. Let's give the color as white so that we can see the white color stuff here. Cool. All right, here, this part, we'll try to change it as FC. So it shows email here. This is for FC, and the key is going to be FC. The class is going to be form label. So we can see that email and WhatsApp has been created here. So input type is going to be email, and this also needs to change. So what we are going to do is we are going to create the different form elements in the way like it is going to be configured. So let's start with this. So instead of just email and WhatsApp, we will make them into objects, name, email, or like let's use label, ID, email, type, email. The same way we will do the same thing here. Label, WhatsApp. Maybe we can use email address, WhatsApp number, ID is email, and this is WhatsApp. Then we have type as number. Okay, so what we are going to do here is this is going to be fc.id. Same thing as fc.id. Oops. And this is going to be fc.label. Now here, this should actually work, right? So we have got all these things. And now we can also add a description for these two things. This blah, 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 something like this. Okay, cool. So the first thing is we'll never share your email address with anyone else. So we'll use that for the email part. And for the WhatsApp number, please enter your last 10 digits of your WhatsApp number. Okay, so let's use that way. So if you see here, this thing hasn't changed, but before that, let's try to change this type as well. So fc.type ID is going to be fc.id, and the ARIA is described by, instead of email help, let's do this. Instead of email help, it needs to be fc.id plus help. And then here, the description is not correct. So fc.description. So this thing should come only when fc.description is available. For example, for some people, if the fc.desc is not available, we don't need to give fc.desc and like this. So now what happens is, if I try to add one more thing, let's say a secret code. So let's copy this one and then see, look at this. It immediately got it correctly. So let's give number as well. And then let's use secret code. ID is secret. And if I get rid of this description, or like maybe put an underscore, you can see that it is gone. So that's the reason why we are using this ampersand. It is a conditional rendering in React. Okay, how is it so far? The power of React. Yes. Okay, so let's carry on. Now, we can do, instead of this one, we can do claim certificate, something like this. Okay. And now we just need to do the different types of certificates, right? So after this, let's create another one. We don't need this AFC ID or anything. Now here, let's copy this once again. Instead of for, it is going to be type. Class form label, type of certificate. Okay. And now this is going to be a select option. So select control is here. So we'll just copy this whole thing. So a lot of things in IT is like copy paste, but don't get over it because like it's just copy paste and stuff like that, because that might actually prove it very difficult for you in sometimes. Yeah, be mindful of it. Okay, so now what we can do is selected disabled. Please select the type. Okay, something like this I put. Yes, type of certificate. Please select the type. And what we are going to do is we can just copy and paste the same thing. Please select the type. And instead of option values like this, we are going to get it from the config dot. So currently the config dot certificate types is an object. So we need to get the keys from it. Object dot keys, config dot certificate types dot map. So this is going to be the key. Okay. Now I'm going to use an option tag here. So the moment I do this way, I could see that there will be three options. There are two empty options. I know why. Because this way, what we will be doing is, here we can put, first thing we will be giving the key equal to key. And here for the value, what we are going to do is key. Now, the moment I do this, I could see participants and mentors. So let's also see one more thing here. So if I refresh this page, I'd be getting something like this. Now, if I inspect this one, I could see that the option participants and mentors, but this is not exactly what I want, because I would require the value as well. So value is also key. So the moment I do that and inspect this one, we'll be able to see option value as part, value as meant. That is exactly the key that we will be using in our backend. Okay. So cool. So we have got to that level right now. Okay. So now we have got this. So if we try to like keep it full, we can see that this whole banner is also getting displayed. And we can actually make the background size as contain and background position as center. Cool. This looks at least a bit better than the previous one. Okay. So we haven't seen how it looks in the main screen again. So let's try to refresh this page once again. Cool. So the title doesn't seem to be a correct title as well. So let's try to fix the title too. So there is something called as component dead mount, but here I don't think there is something like that. So what we will do is here document. Actually, it should be window.document.title is going to be config.name, and then use the same thing here. Oh, okay. So the moment I do this and refresh this page, it loads. The moment it loads, it shows code as Evoke, verify the certificates. Okay, cool. So that worked perfectly. So now we have got all these things perfectly working. Still, I would feel that we could have used the container, normal container itself. No need of container fluid. In the smaller sizes, it might look something bad, but still it looks better than something. Okay. So if it is going to be a smaller width, we will not be able to see this thing, right? So what we will do is we can have an image. SRC is going to be the same thing. So if we look at the banner style, we have got the config.banner. Config.banner src config.name. Okay. And now this should not be displayed every time. Sorry, ALT, right? Okay. So this should not be displayed every time. So we will give a class name of DSM none. I believe this is the correct class name, which seems to be not working. So let's see what are all the display methods that are available. D none. Okay, so let's use D block. So that looks good. DSM none. Okay, so that seems to be working. So that worked. So now what we need to do is we need to also make this particular image not go out of this layout. So in the styles on the left banner, we can have the image max width 100%. The moment we do this in the smaller sizes, it's going to show this way, and margin bottom 15 we can give. Oh, that's wrong. We can give margin bottom 15 here, or maybe 25. So if it becomes bigger, it's going to show this way. And if it has become smaller in mobile screens, it's going to show this way. So this seems to be like a perfect example of how we can make it responsive. How is this so far? Pooja says that button in the middle will look good. Okay, cool. That's a good idea. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, so actually we can do the form container with text align center. What do you think about this? Is it looking good or bad? If it doesn't look good, I will change it to the previous one. So I guess I'll change the label to text align left. Did it work? No, it did not. So the form container doesn't have a label, is it? I don't understand. So form, we do have a label, and it's not working. Interesting. Yeah, text align left is here. Okay, I understand what's actually happening. Okay, got it. So we have this particular thing, right? So we'll use MB3. Text align left. So how does this look like? Shashank, already I use Canva to design the banner. Shashank, yes, you are right. Rohan says we will make one competition to design one of your own and push it to GitHub. What say? Yes, that's actually a good idea, Rohan. For the first time, I'm hiring you. Yes, great idea, Rohan. We can actually do this really. So this is actually a good idea. So Ayan and Sanika, what do you think so far? How is it going?
You can see in the chat box is a great enthusiasm people are showing there.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Okay. Let's try to complete this soon. Okay. So we still have like what, 5 minutes? That's it, is it? Oh my god. Wait, are we going to finish it off in 5 minutes or do we still have time? I didn't know that we already passed. Okay. We still have half an hour time. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So right now it looks like this, which is cool. And let's go to this one and refresh and see how it actually looks like. Nice. This actually looks good. So, but this is only the claiming part. Okay. So we need to have two things. Yes, I know that we can use hooks, but since considering the lot of people are like beginners for React, I'm doing the states because states are really easier. Okay, before doing any states or hooks, let's try to fix all these things because it looks so shabby and it kind of like looks bad. So what we will do is we'll start with one more component called header.js. Okay, inside the header.js, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some shortcuts. So let's use RAFCE and make it as header. Let's copy this whole thing, paste it over here. And instead of this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this whole nav inside this. Okay, the only thing that I require is this config. So let's use the config here. And then here, I'm going to do header, auto import it, and then config. I give the config. Okay, cool. That worked. So header has become one single line. See, this is the power of React. It looks really good as well. Now we can safely avoid the header. The next thing is this main screen. Okay, so let's create one more file called main.js. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. Main. And let's cut this one, paste it over here. Instead of all these things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, cut this whole main. Okay. Now see the size of index page. It is very simple, very small. So let me put this main here, but this one will always have config as a problem. Okay. Now also we need to do this banner style and then put it inside the main because this is belonging to this. Now, if you save this and then try to put main config, main auto imported config is config and close it. It has come perfectly. Okay. So inside, when we go inside the main, we can also split this into multiple things. So we have a left banner stuff and then we have a right banner thing as well. So let's use left, or else let's use banner.js. And here, this is the whole left banner. Okay. So let's go to banner.js, replace this one. And this requires config again. And some people will complain me saying like, yes, we can use, what do you call that? Context API, but no, it's all right. I'm happy with prop drilling. This is just a simple prop. So we'll just go with this. And we have left. Okay, we have banner. We should pass on config. Okay, hopefully it works, right? It works. Now coming to our form container. So let's use form container. And let's create form container.js and paste it, save it. Go back to this one. Let's get this complete form container. I guess this is the form container, right? It is inside the row main div. Okay. Cool. This is perfect. So let's go back to the form container, paste it over here. What all things does it take? It definitely takes config, right? Yeah, only config it takes. So let's save it. And then let's use form container. Give the config as well. Boom. So now we have got this one. So inside the form container, we can even do the form alone, like just the form alone, because the form has got a lot of things here. So we can say like form elements. And for this form elements, we can actually do this one. This along with this, right? Cool. So here, we don't need this one. So let's get rid of this. Let's paste it over here. And it definitely needs config. So let's go back, form elements, config. Okay, now if you see any file, if you take app, 15 lines of code, 17 lines of code, 16 lines of code, this is a bit big, but still 50 lines of code, for 13 lines of code, 17 lines of code, this is data. So everything is less than 15 lines of code. So that's how easy we can split things up. So that is something which I wanted to tell. Okay, cool. A lot of things and a lot of comments are in Hindi, so I'm not able to understand. So, okay, by the way, the coding platform is Code Sandbox, which you can see on the top. And I'm using React.js for this. If you have joined late, sorry about that. So yeah, so we have got something like this. Now, the fun part is we need two things, right? So this form container and form element, they are related to the claim form. So what we will be doing is, now we need to do the verification part, right? So what we will have here is, we want to have two buttons really, okay? So whether it is claiming or verification, that way we need to show these two things. So if we try to create another one, we just need only two variables here. So the form container is going to be the same, but the only difference will be what type of the form element that we are going to use. So here, I'm going to give one more thing, verify. Okay, and the same way for the form container, we'll use verify, and this verify is going to be here, and the form elements is form container is here, so we can have verify here is going to be false. Another verify is going to be true. Okay, so what is the difference between these two verifies? Actually, we should not be using the verify here. So let's get rid of this from here. And this is the form container, correct? But here it is going to be false. Okay, and here it's going to be true. Okay, so you don't see any difference at this point because we did not write anything. So let's go into the form container, form elements. And here, if verify, then this whole thing will be completely different. If not, it's going to be different. Look at this. The verify has nothing right now. So here it will be only one. It's not going to be. Okay, verify this. Then this. Let's close this whole thing. Cool. So now for this part, what we are going to have is verification code. ID. Okay. So look at that. Is it fine now? So we have got verification code here. So if the verify is true or verify is false, if the verify is true, then it will have only one thing, which is verification code. And the type is type can be text again. ID is verification. Please enter the super long verification code here. Okay, so this part is the verification part. This part is the claiming part. Okay. Now if we go back to our yep, this is not needed. Form container. So here is where we will be using a use state kind of a thing. So use state and a const mode, set mode, or else const verify set verify equal to use state. Use state is like something in a simple way. Okay, so we'll be using something like this, and we'll use null first. Okay, so if it is null, we are not showing any of these things. So if verify is null, then select. If not, yeah, so it is currently in the selection mode. Okay, so selection mode will need to have a couple of things, but before that, where is our oh yeah, so this one will not be coming as well. So for that, we will try to do something else later. So before that, let's try to create something basically. So we need a couple of buttons here. So let's go ahead. The buttons are here. So these are the buttons. We'll use the bigger buttons. So large button. So we'll just copy this one. Okay, so we have claim certificate, verify certificate. Okay, and we have got it this way. So if we make it bigger or something like that, we'll be able to see that it has some spacing and stuff like that. MR3. Okay, the way this is, the reason why it is coming this way is because of the size here. So if we try to refresh this one here, we might be able to see it correctly. Again, this background kind of a thing is not actually working out. So what I'm going to do is, in the styles, for the left banner, I'm going to give min height as 50 VH, so that it at least looks a bit nice. So refreshing this page, you'll be getting something like this. So claim and verify, but claim should actually have the margin right or something right. Let's see what is happening there. So margin right 3. So margin right is supposed to be ME now. So yes. So let's try looking at that again. So yeah, we have got a claim and verify certificate, but it is not centrally aligned. So what we will do is let's make dev and let's give last name text center. So again, we should change all these classes into class names. Cool. Now if we go back to the main site here, we'll be able to see that, but still it is not centered. Okay, this is the centered view. Okay, cool. So whenever we click on this or this, it has to show the form, the respective form. So what we will be doing is, so this one is claim certificate, right? So on click, let's use an on click event. So E, technically it should prevent the default action. It should not refresh the page. And we should say set verify as the first one will be false and second one will be true. So let's save this. So if you click on claim certificate, it's going to set as true. So this verification part will be verified. Okay. But the problem here is this should always be displayed. So we can give verify is not equal to null and let's get this whole thing out. And we will just use this way. Okay, so at this point, if we refresh this page, we'll be able to see only two things, two buttons. So clicking on claim certificate, it's going to show this one. Clicking on verify certificate, it's going to show this one. So that is what we have done so far. And for this button text centers, so margin bottom, let's give 4 or something like that. So that it gives a nice margin bottom here. You know, this one. Let's use this, refresh. This is claiming code and this is the verification code. So almost we have created the same thing using React. So the moment we give the name, number, 777-888-999. And if we give the thing, we just need to work with this one. So if you click on the verification, obviously this will change as well. So we just need to give the verification code and then we'll be able to make this whole thing work. So before that, we can also give some padding to the form. So this is the form. Let's use a class name and P3. Let's see how it looks. Cool. This is getting some size or some difference, right? So some spacing as well. So cool. So we have got something like this. So only this part we were able to do. Okay. So coming back to Shashank, yes, we can use restrictions for value in email, which we already used it. For example, we have used input type equal to email. That alone provides you the necessary validations for this case, right? Okay. Cool. Any other questions? Any questions that you have got?
Yeah, boss.
So we are almost coming to the end of the thing. So right now we just used the config one and we were able to see this. We were able to do these two things and boom. So here you go. So even this one, we can actually give some spacing or something like that. But yeah, so that should be it. That should help make it work. And this is supposed to be responsive as well. So we have to get rid of the background image when it is a smaller image. But yeah, so something like this. How is it?
It was great, sir. The reactions, all are great.
It was really great session, sir.
I hope it was actually interesting, like in the terms that how we can make use of React's all these states and other things. So someone actually mentioned we can use the hooks. So that's the reason I use the use state hook. And apart from that, yes. So we have actually tried both the classful component as well as the stateless functional component with on-demand hooks. So we have done both the things.
Yeah.
That's really great. I can see in the chat, lots of enthusiasm was there, and everyone was actively participating in the seminar and all. So I guess everyone has enjoyed this session a lot. Thank you for your time, sir. It was really great to have you on the Coders Ebook platform.
That's awesome. I can also see the sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, and folks, if you haven't subscribed yet this channel, so just click.
Please go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget tomorrow's live stream. Yeah. It's going to be super exciting as well because we are going to do a game. It's going to be a gaming session tomorrow, and we are going to create the game, and it's going to be super awesome as well.
So hello folks, don't forget to subscribe this channel. Don't forget to join the Coders Evoke. Hope you will enjoy the future events also with Praveen sir. He's awesome.
So we are going to have a lot of events with your community as well. So it's going to be really awesome too.
Sure.
Yeah, there is a lot more to come. So subscribe.
Yes.
So, and as others mentioned, we can also host some nice competitions. And for those people who haven't registered to the same thing, go ahead and hit the register button, give your details. Let's get your certificates also generated, and you will be notified very soon. Or maybe just do one thing. Check the description of this event tomorrow, the same YouTube link tomorrow, and you will be able to claim the certificates. All right. Yes. Great. Thanks, everyone. And stay safe. And anything else from your side, Ayan and Sanika?
No, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for this.
No, sir. Thank you so much. That's all.
See you all then. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Bye-bye.